Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvina Vadidamastu Ma Vitvishavahe. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Many people are waiting for their gifts to become stronger before they use them. They're waiting to feel more confident, more qualified, more ready, more certain in the world. But I want to propose today that your gifts don't grow unless you use them. Today I want to talk about why so many people hide their gifts and why the simple act of expressing them in the world is actually what helps them develop. Namaste and welcome to the Spiritual Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra Savitri Amba, director of the American Reiki Academy and the Vedic Healing Center. I'm a Reiki master, Vedic healing master, and spiritual guide who has practiced and taught spiritual self-development and healing for more than 35 years, led pilgrimages to India, and studied with blessed Indian gurus. In this show, we cover topics related to metaphysics, Reiki, Vedic healing, yoga, manifestation, spiritual growth, and feng shui, based upon my studies and work in these disciplines. The aim of this show is to help you awaken, develop, and tap into your spiritual power in order that you may live well, manifest your dreams, and ultimately fulfill your unique divine destiny. Welcome to today's episode, and today's episode is about your gifts. And one thing that I've noticed with people I've spoken to and with myself, again, I'm always including myself, is that we wait until we feel ready before self-expression. Now, often we're wanting to accumulate more knowledge and maybe another certificate, another class, get another teaching under our belts. And so we keep waiting. And actually what happens is we don't gain the sea legs and the confidence unless we start moving into action. So I would assert that our confidence comes after or in the process of action, not before it. So when I first began teaching, I certainly, of course, like everyone else, didn't know everything that I know today about the subjects that I teach. And I remember actually when I was teaching English in graduate school, and I was teaching to college freshmen. And I remember my first day of teaching, I was really nervous, and I was standing in front of the classroom, and I looked out, and I had two thoughts. And the first thought was, oh my gosh, these students are just a couple of years younger than I am. And that was the fearful thought. And then the next thought I had, and I don't remember if it came right away or if it came to me later that day or as I began teaching, the next thought that came on the heels of that thought was, oh, but I somehow know more than these students. And by virtue of that, I am qualified to teach them. Now, it didn't mean that the students didn't test me, because that was for sure. That happened. And it happened all through my teaching career, teaching English, even when I was teaching students who were much younger than I was. So there's always a testing, or not always, but often a testing where the student or your audience quizzes you. They kind of challenge you. They want to know, does this person really know what she's speaking about? And as a teacher, you can feel that. You can feel it. And, when I was teaching 7th and 8th grade English, it was very fun and amusing, actually, as the students would test me, mostly the junior high school boys. So it was really an interesting process and very endearing process, pushing their boundaries like children do. But as an adult teaching Reiki, I've also had that experience where people came to class, and see, the thing is, when you teach something that you know, not everyone will you resonate with 100%. You are not about to marry these people, but you do have a relationship with them, and they are going to sometimes, and especially if you don't have a really clear resonance with them, they may test you. They may look at you and say, well, what does she have to teach me? And it's really, really an act of the ego. Now, I have felt this myself when I have listened to a teacher whom I did not quite resonate with. And I have felt myself a little bit moving into the ego, but I always check myself and say, be open, because this person is sharing from her heart or his heart a subject matter he or she knows about. So be open, just be open, because even if you do not completely resonate with the person, that teacher has knowledge for you because it's a subject matter that you are interested in, or you probably wouldn't be interacting with them. I remember once I was teaching Reiki to a neurosurgeon, and the class was filled with people who were more kind of on a conscious spiritual path. Again, I always make this distinction where we are all on spiritual journeys here, but a conscious spiritual path, by that I mean somebody who's actively engaging in meditation, yoga, self-growth work, healing work. So the class was filled with those kinds of people. And I always have people introduce themselves at the beginning so I can get to know them a little bit. And it also breaks the ice, and also so people around them in the class know who they're sitting next to. And it creates affinity, really. So in this one class, I had a woman who was a neurosurgeon. Now, that I imagine is quite intense work. It's a very mental body, also highly technical, I'm assuming. But from her body language, I could tell already she was there to test me. She had her arms crossed. She was sitting back in her chair. She had her legs crossed, and she had a little bit of I won't say a smirk on her face, but a little bit of an expression that wasn't very friendly. And I knew this woman wants to test me and see if this Reiki stuff is really just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I could see that in her face, in her body language. And as a teacher, this can be quite distracting also. So if you are listening to this and you're teaching anything, and you feel this kind of resonance, you feel this kind of lack of resonance that I'm talking about, and a kind of challenging energy, then I'm sure you can relate. So I had the choice to either stop expressing my gifts and to become shut down and nervous and collapse into myself, or to say, I know my subject matter, so I am here to share with whomever wishes to be open and ready to receive this information. Now, always in classes as well, we are trying to create affinity with everyone. It makes the experience more enjoyable. And sometimes that's possible, and sometimes it isn't. In the case of the neurosurgeon, it was somewhat possible. She was able to relax a little bit into these teachings. I wouldn't say fully, but there was a reason she was there. She was attracted to it. She wanted to use it in her work, actually. So it was quite interesting. I've taught so many different kinds of people, and I'll kind of intersperse those stories as I do these episodes. But my point in telling you this is that when you have gifts, the only way to tap into them is to express them, to fully start embodying them and expressing them in the world. We do not have everything figured out as we begin sharing our gifts. And it could be doing healing sessions. It could be you as a yoga teacher. It could be you as an artist or a musician or a writer. You learn through doing. You learn through your craft. Your craft is actually guiding you. And that's why also I say to people, Reiki especially is a doorway, but it is also an energy, and that energy starts to open up all aspects of your being in a very unique way. It's going to open up your throat chakra, all of your chakras, and it specifically is going to work with the heart, the third eye, and the crown chakras in you tapping into your gifts in those areas. So when think about your intuition, actually, your third eye. So for instance, people will say to me they want to develop their intuitive or psychic or innate abilities in the third eye. And my question to them is, are you already using the intuition you have? Because your intuition develops through practice. So there are techniques in Reiki that are going to help you open your intuitive gifts more. But as you start trusting your gifts, here, this is another interesting thing, and it comes up, it definitely comes up in level 2 Reiki. I'll explain in a minute, but let me say the statement. As you start trusting your gifts, whatever those are, and expressing them, the universe gives you more. So as you start trusting and expressing your gifts, the universe gives you more. What I mean by that is the universe gives you more opportunities. You gain more confidence. The universe responds. It's always responding to you. I talk about your relationship with your altar as being a living relationship. It's a communion. It's a back and forth. That's what's going on with the universe also. Everything is energy. So as you're putting out your gifts, you're also receiving energy back. There's a beautiful saying that I like to say to myself, and I like to tell people, and it is, energy out equals energy in. So what that means is, think about manifestation when you are trying to manifest something. all of the energy you're putting out into the world around this topic. Now, you're also doing inner work. So I'm talking about that too. That also is energy out, but it's a quiet energy. It's a yin energy, a feminine energy. So as you then move into the masculine energy of expressing in the world, that also is energy out. Both of them are energy out. So energy out equals energy in. That means that the universe is going to start responding to you. You are like a magnet, so you are attracting to you what you are a vibrational match to. And if you say, I now want to be a vibrational match to true love, and you do things around that energy, you are going to naturally attract true love. You're also going to start to repel anything that doesn't support that vision. So it's all about putting energy out into the world, putting your gifts out into the world in order for the response of the world to match what you are putting out there. I hope this makes sense. I think one of the greatest mistakes we make is assuming that our gifts are going to be kind of automatically responded to. Instead, the universe is always pushing us to express. Your gifts arrive in your energy field as possibilities, as inklings, as little messages, little whispers. Sometimes I say it's like the universe is tapping you on the back and or on the shoulder and telling you to do this or to do that. And these little tappings are you, your internal spirit, urging you on. So I'm thinking back about Reiki, and in level 2, there's a process I teach where I help people develop their channeling abilities. Now, I always tell them, as you move into this, that you're going to distinguish between your own voice and the messages. That's for sure. But when you start to receive the messages, you must release them. It's like the universe doesn't give you more unless you trust what you've been given. So your gifts are about you understanding, cultivating them, and then releasing them into the universe. So it could be a creative gift, a healing gift, a gift of leadership, of wisdom, of some technique that you have mastered. So I think a lot of women, especially, we get stuck in fear, in what if I look strange, or what if I make a fool of myself, or what if, whatever the what if nonsense is that's going on in your head. So if you've been, I want to encourage you that if your intuition has been telling you to do something, to move in a certain direction, that you begin trusting that and expressing, putting it out there in the world. The next step is simply to begin. So as we close, you can ask yourself, what have I felt I should be? And when I say should, there's never a hard and fast should, like in any kind of negative way. But what do I feel I should be doing right now that I'm not doing? What is it that I feel I am consistently drawn to. Many times, for instance, people tell me they've been feeling the resonance with Reiki for a long time and they waited to act on it. Or let's say they took level 1 and they've been wanting to take level 2 for a long time. Or somebody is doing a lot of yoga and she's very adept at it. She's even a yoga teacher, and yet she isn't teaching it in the world. So something is holding us back from taking those intuitive messages, moving into what we feel we are supposed to do. And again, supposed to means really just a vibrational match. We are supposed to do in this lifetime and then doing it. Not knowing how it's going to work out, not knowing ever where it's going to lead us. We can never know where we are going to be led, but just trusting the internal messages and allowing the gifts to be expressed. Because, I start these episodes by saying the last thing I say is that you are here to ultimately fulfill your unique divine destiny. And that destiny is calling to you every day. It's calling to you and asking you, hey, listen to the messages that I'm giving you. Act on this, please. Why aren't you acting on this other thing? And why aren't you giving more of this skill that you have in the world? What is stopping you from doing this? I'm going to keep tapping you on the back. That's the universe. I'm going to keep reminding you very persistently, very gently, this is something you're good at. This is something you're therefore supposed to, but again, remember, supposed to is said with a lot of kindness and love, but you are supposed to share. Please share this. There are other people who need to learn from you. And one of the things I tell my Reiki master students is that when they first learn, sometimes they are nervous to teach and they want to refer people back to me. They'll say somebody, they took the mastership training and then somebody wanted to learn Reiki from them and they felt they weren't ready, so maybe they will refer them to me. And often I'll tell them, that's fine if you would like to, but that student probably needs your ways and your words. See, there are people waiting to hear, feel, experience the gifts that you are not sharing. So this is an episode about expressing your gifts, and it's really an episode about sharing, about being expansive, about opening the heart. And I am going to do an episode on the chakras also, because this sharing also has to do with other energies in your chakra system. So having the confidence which sits in the third chakra to then share. Your heart might be very open and yet your throat is shut down about that expression, or your third chakra is shut down about that expression. So in healing work, we figure out also where the shutdown is happening. And then when that is released, we can then go forth and express our gifts in a unique way that only you can do and I can do. And that will enable us to fulfill those unique divine destinies. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to stay connected. You can feel free to join my email community at my website. The link is in the show notes. There I share spiritual insights, podcast updates and information about upcoming classes, trainings, gatherings, and events, it is reikiacademy.org. Thank you for joining me today. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Om Sai Ram. Jai Guruji. Om Amriteshwari Namaha. Hare Krishna. Om Namah Shivaya.